going into this Saturday, all the fans need to bring their, either buy a program or get a flip card, because there's going to be a bunch of new numbers out there on the field. We didn't bring these guys here to stand next to me, which will be a challenge. Rice is a football team that returns 19 fifth-year seniors, 23 seniors in total. All 5 starting linemen back. Taylor McGard, who we're very, very familiar with. At one time, he was committed to the University of Houston and changed his mind, went to Rice. Is their 5th-year quarterback. A lot of guys back on defense. I know that they've had some injuries, but started the year with 9 of 11 back on defense. A very, very veteran football team, and is well coached. Everybody knows my relationship with David Bailiff, going back before we were head coaches, living in the same neighborhood in Houston. Extremely prideful team, prideful program. As I said, they won 5 in a row, coming off the last season with a bowl win. And they will challenge, and they're going to challenge as one of the better teams in Conference USA next year, and wouldn't be surprised for them to have a chance to win the league. So they'll come in here ready to go. Really just the opposite of our football team, a veteran football team that's played a lot of games, played together, and has all the pieces in place. And we've got a bunch of guys that we're going to still try to find out who we are with some of these young guys in some positions. The good news is they're very, very talented, very, very talented group of young guys, and because of that, as coaches, particularly at the collegiate level, you're going to battle some of that every year. And I think looking into Saturday, we'll know a lot more about our football team across the board at the end of that game than we do right now. Questions?
Over here to the right.
Kevin Gaybox, TexAgs.com. How pleased have you been with Jogel and Kenny Bill just getting themselves prepared for whatever may happen?
I think if you go back through all of camp, you really have Matt Jogel, who's taken, I think, 11 snaps in his career. Kenny, who just got here, and Johnny have taken the majority of the snaps. I think everybody can read into Matt Davis leaving a week ago. That was pretty obvious that the snap ratio changed at that point to really those 3 guys, and a decision had to be made. 4 guys you can't rep all those guys, and so that is still an ongoing competition. I think what we've done in the past and how we've trained quarterbacks, I think we've been successful doing that, and we have a method in how we do that. Anybody who's been around has seen us rotate players with the first team, has seen us rotate snaps with the first team, and because of that, I think it gives your team a chance to develop a relationship or a camaraderie with that first unit if something happens. So I've been pleased with both of their progress, and I've been pleased with all the quarterbacks' progress this camp. I think it's related. The key to it has been the new guys on the perimeter. We've got a really solid offensive line, which takes a little bit of the pressure off of Matt and Kenny. And then when Johnny's taking snaps in there, when he is in there, he's really trying to help the perimeter guys. So our offensive line gives us an opportunity to rotate those quarterbacks and have them be comfortable. Does that make sense?
Brent Swarnham, San Antonio Express and News Houston Chronicle. How vital is a role to the program's success what Ben Molina did for you in the offseason in terms of the type of senior leader he was and going into his senior season as a leader of this offense?
But Ben has been a guy who has been a leader for us pre-senior year. Last year he was on all the special teams. Really kind of a controversial deal when we played him ahead of Christian Michael. He accepted that role and really excelled. So, to me, he's been a leader by example, up until this offseason. And we've had some discussions and some talks about him stepping out and becoming more of a vocal leader, which he's already led the team by example. Now he's a guy that people will follow because of what he's done on the field. On a team like this, as I said, we're just the opposite of Rice. We don't have a whole bunch of seniors, but we do have some really talented young players. And leadership, sure, it starts with the coaches, but real leadership comes from the locker room also. And that's where guys like Ben and Mike Evans, guys like that who are in there day by day to tell them, hey, listen, here's how we won games. Not just playing the game, but what we're doing before the game, during the week, during camp, how we approach it. That becomes very, very important. And Ben Malay is a great example of that. And he's doing a great job leading this football team.
Right, and then we'll go to Mark and Will.
Suzanne Halliburton, Austin American Statesman. Kevin, on some housekeeping issues, your athletic director on Saturday said that Ravens and Everett would be suspended for a game and a half game. What game is that? Because they're on your depth chart.
It's the Rice game. The depth chart came out last week.
So how accurate is your depth chart?
The depth chart came out last week.
Well, so
About as accurate as everybody else's.
Mark? Coach, Mark Schwartz,
You
ESPN.
bet.
Mark.
Great.
Given the Aggie code of honor, that an Aggie does not lie, does not cheat, does not steal, and does not tolerate those who do, what is your decision, the university's decision, to name Johnny Manziel your starting quarterback? Say that your belief that he is telling the truth in this story about profiting from autographs.
Well, I think we just covered that earlier. You know, when you're asking me about the decision for Johnny to play, we're not discussing that. And I thought that we went over that right from the beginning.
Hey, Coach. Hey, sorry, go ahead.
Well, my question was about the code of honor, and whether the code of honor sort of has everything to do with how that decision will be made.
I can't talk about how that decision is going to be made, and what goes into that decision. You know, that I said from day one, the first day, there'll be a lot of people involved in that decision. So what goes into how that decision is made, obviously I can't discuss.
Okay.
Coach, Kate Robles, Dallas Morning News. You've said that you're happy with Johnny's focus the past 3 or 4 weeks. Do you think football's been a refuge for him, considering all that has been swirling around the program and him?
You know, I think he likes to play. I know he likes to play football. I think the structure that he has had since August 4th has done nothing but help him. I think when you're inside of this situation, I think this probably sounds hard to believe, but just talking to my dad, he gets a lot more news than we get because we're not watching a whole bunch of television. We're in here up until last week. We're in camp. We're here. Kids are here at 7:30 to eat, and we got 2-a-day practices. We got meetings. They're eating here. They're in this building until 9-10 o'clock at night. So, and they ought to be pretty tired when they get home because they got to do the same thing the next day. School started Monday, so they're pretty regimented. I think outside, you probably have more access to a lot more news than these guys do. And because of that, the structure, the meeting, the practice, the eating, the lifting, all that stuff to bed, I've been very, very pleased. I've been very pleased with the energy of practice. I've been very pleased with the focus of practice, not just from Johnny, but from our whole football team. And I think what it comes down to is that, we have a plan as a football team, and I have a plan as a coach. We live in a different world. For a lot of people, things are rigid all the time. You know what's going to happen. As a coach, I can't tell you how many times we've gone into games with players where you have to make game time decisions. There have been a number of times last year where guys started and played football games that you didn't know that there was a possibility they weren't going to play. And so we have a plan for that. We're working a plan for all of those situations, not just for quarterback, but for other positions. Our players understand that, our coaches understand that, and we're comfortable with it.